Hey everyone, it's baze.djunkiii transmitting from Hamburg, Germany, back with a new video, and well, back with a new unboxing video because I received mail again like a while ago, like 2 or 3 days ago, and I received mail from London this time, which came in via my usual postman who drops off the parcels before I go to work, actually very early in the morning. And interestingly, this time I hadn't or wasn't forced to pay import fee on those. So what I got here is a hefty parcel, which is like hefty and heavy and stuff, which is fragile, as it states here, and it's one of those little flat pack things that you're gonna use for sending out vinyl, actually, which is interesting because I haven't received vinyl from London for quite a while, and I'm pretty interested what this is. It comes from a guy that is called Nathan Comer, which I haven't heard of. As far as I remember, it's located in an address I haven't seen. First of all, I thought this could be coming from the BBE, maybe, the Barely Breaking Even label, because they send me stuff sometimes, but usually they do this from their Berlin office. So, but actually, I looked up the address and BBE wasn't to be found there. So let's dive into this nice and easy parcel thing. And yeah, what has happened in the meantime, I feel better, actually, way better than I felt when I shot the album release announcement video. So this has been like on Friday. A few copies already have been sold and sent out to the Netherlands and to the States and stuff, and dropped off at Otaku Records. And within the past 2 days that have passed since then, I've kind of recovered, and I feel like I'm going back to a full normal again, like in terms of health and stuff, which is good. And what we got here is actually 2 vinyl pieces, I guess, and an empty envelope protection thing. Actually 2 vinyl pieces, as it seems. So let me have a look. First, this is interesting. Nihiti. This is an artist I have reviewed recently on the Low Bit Landscapes label, and actually this is why the name Nathan Comer well, didn't ring an actual bell for me, but it was like, okay, maybe I've heard this, and this is interesting. This is nice. I'm really appreciative of that. So Nihiti is an artist who runs, I guess, the Low Bit Landscapes label, and there's 2 Nihiti albums coming in with this post. The first one is A New Kind of Weather on the Low Bit Landscapes label as catalog number 012. And looks like this, the whole promo thing. And we got an album with a hype sticker, which says it features Greg Fox, with a little bit of hype from the Wire magazine, actually. And the Low Bit Landscapes label is an album, is a label that is focusing on like deep listening music and ambient, and well, there is an actual genre that is called low bit, which refers to recording like soundscapes and like not soundscapes, but like field recordings, and kind of with a low resolution, and focusing on like minimal movements in that kind of sound, and time stretching those to create like granular ambient textures and stuff. So this is A New Kind of Weather by Nihiti, which is from 2020. Looks extremely nice, this one, with a little bit of a, I don't know if you can see this right, but these stripes are kind of silver reflective there. And the album looks like this. I'm going to review those, of course, on my website nightstyles.de. Looks like this, the label here. That's the B side. And here is there a track list on there, like an inlay? Let's have a look. Nope. No additional information in terms of like an inlay and stuff, and what the thing reveals, the press info. Well, this is an interesting sentence here. Composed as the dark curtain of plague close around us, a new kind of weather plots a fairly traditional course for a nihiti track, opening with a faraway wail of a siren recorded at a time when the air in New York City contained a few other noticeable sounds. The song slowly builds up upon the drums of Greg Fox and the guitar of Victor Timofey into a slow motion tornado reminiscent of a psychedelic Leonard Cohen or maybe some Dark Mirror image of a Tame Impala track. So obviously, like a new era of living in 2020 that might be influenced by the coronavirus actually, and there is like references to war, murder, and romantic catastrophe have been common themes as the music has written the fine line between the kind of electronic soundscape that led to ambient music commission for Aurora Hallard's Sustained Release Festival and the more songwriter material that made them a favorite of other music NYC. So this is one nihiti album, and this is Sustained. Yeah, and I actually had to look this up because the press text I had here for the Sustained album by Nihiti was so familiar to me, and I was like, okay, I know this, I read this before and stuff, and turns out, which is even more interesting to me, that I reviewed that album Sustained recently, and I also reviewed in 2021 the one A New Kind of Weather. So I will like put both reviews to the album down there in this unboxing video, because this will reveal more than the actual press text I'm reading right now. And yeah, to Nihiti, thanks for sending those, and excuse me for not immediately recognizing that I reviewed this album not too much ago, but I fell ill in the meantime, not too long ago, but I fell ill in between, and when you review like an album a day, basically things get kind of blurred, so sometimes you like an album, review it, and then the name escapes you right after that, but that's nothing to say about the quality of the music. I like them both, I remember, and as you will see the review down there in the description box, it's both albums I recommended actually. So this one I remember more about the Sustained album. This was also commissioned for a festival definitely, and the idea was that those tracks should run in a tent like for a period of time, like 24 to 48 hours on repeat. So whenever people come from like the dance floor of a festival or the band floor, whatever this festival was kind of, or whatever the music on this festival was at any given time, they could come back to that tent and feel like comfortable and like come back to a familiar sound, because this album was on repeat all the time. And this is like an interesting inlay sleeve here, very protective and very like anti-static, which I really appreciate, especially for that kind of music. So Sustained, the new album on Low Bit Landscapes. I still don't know exactly, I think so, but if Nihiti is the one running the label as well, probably might be, because the first release on Low Bit Landscapes was by Nihiti, and he's been a staple of the label's release catalog ever since. So this might be the case, but I looked this up on Discogs when I wrote those reviews, and it wasn't like 100% to prove and to confirm whether it is the case that Nihiti is the one behind the Low Bit Landscapes label. But I will give those a proper deep listen like tomorrow, and yeah, I've reviewed those, so the reviews go in to the description box. I really appreciate that. We'll use them, and I've used them for radio as well at some point for my show at Radio Flouka, which will continue to be broadcasted in early September, because the Radio Flouka crew takes a break in August, as they do every year. So they got like a 24-hour repeat cycle going on the radio shows, but they won't have like any new programming for the entirety of August, because those guys need a break and they work hard. And I gotta send a shout out to all those listeners at Radio Flouka, because my latest show, the Clashman Volume 7, I did for them, like a mixture of grime and dubstep and stuff, reached like 100 listeners within like 3 days or so, which is really amazing. So I'm really proud of that. And yeah, once again, thank you to Nihiti for those amazing gifts. It will be like a welcome addition to my collection in terms of vinyl. And as I said, I'm gonna play those on the radio, and maybe also in a bar or something, in a club environment. Maybe, because I still want to find like a place in Hamburg where I can go back to my DJ roots and play like ambient music and drone and experimental stuff as well. So I'm looking out for a place, and I have hopes, but I will have to like visit a place next week, I guess, as soon as I'm like fully recovered, and we'll check out what the news are and what the odds are that something like this, like playing ambient and stuff, and also drone music and deep listening music, might happen once again for me as a DJ, because that's the stuff I started with, and I love to explore that kind of music as well, still in terms of playing out and not only going for the club and for the dance floor stuff. So fingers crossed that this is going to happen. And now I'm going to go into editing mode, sending a shout out to the Low Bit Landscapes label and to Nihiti. And if something comes up from your side, like in terms of releases and stuff, let me know. I'm always willing and interesting to review stuff. So shout out to London, BAZE.JUNKIii out for now. I'm gonna go into editing mode. See you in the next one.